Hey, what's good, everyone? I just did a reading and I was touching on kind of fashion briefly. And I was talking about how um, most fashion trends, or I believe like pretty much all fashion trends, at least the good ones, come from something being raw, being honest, being somewhat effortless. And then as designers, we kind of capitalize on that. And I was even thinking recently, like, I'm not sure where you're located watching this, but we've kind of just passed the trend, or I don't know, maybe we're still in it, but I'd kind of noticed a lot of people wearing like almost hiking gear, like hiking. That there's kind of just a look where you're looking like you're ready to hike a little bit, like halfway hiking. You got like the North, is it North Face, that kind of look, almost a little bit neon-y kind of clothes going on. Like those thick socks. There's that kind of. Some of you are gonna know what I'm talking about. Some of you are gonna be lost, which is okay. And I was thinking like how it's sometimes sad that the authenticity of something gets lost in the fashion because there's some of these clothes which I've come across in the shops, and it's like sometimes we have to like pause on the stupidity of humanity. Not to say that I'm not stupid myself, I clearly am, in many ways, smart and stupid. But I can walk into a store or order some clothes, and the stupidity is that this thing can look like it's for hiking and not even be waterproof. This thing can look like it's um, got hiking swag, but this shit doesn't even keep you warm. So I don't know if the penny's dropping for some of you guys here, but this is just a lesson in humanity, and some of the stupid shit we get away with is that we take a theme, a style, and completely lose the function of what that thing is good for. Like, can I get amen, hallelujah for that? So you got a fashion trend at the moment which is based around looking like you're ready to hike. Can you imagine buying some hiking shoes or boots that aren't even waterproof? Like, what's the point in that? Can you imagine getting some hiking boots that aren't even keeping your feet warm? Let alone in hiking. I just mean in day to day life. Can you imagine getting like a hiking jacket that looks like it's thermal, but it's not? Like, when you understand this point that I'm making, which is only a small one, hopefully this will make you a little bit more aware in your day about some of the shit that we kind of pull on each other as humans, you know. And the same can be said for near enough. Like, I can use that same analogy for food. You can see let's say a bottle of some form of drink, and the name of it is called nutrius nutrition nutritionella nutritionella. The title says it in itself that it's nutritious. Then you look at the back of that bitch, and it's got ease, it's got sugars, it's got fake ass proteins. Pretty much got a damn heart attack in the damn drink, and they're calling it fucking nutritionella. Today's reading is going to be about freedom. And hopefully, what I'm gonna channel for you today is breaking free from something. Just in the introduction here, hopefully you've broken free from. You probably haven't broken free from this. If you're watching this video, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, and you're probably clapping your hands saying hallelujah. So I assume most of you have broke free from those simple chains of don't know even what to call it, like program society. I don't even know what it's called, but hopefully you've broke free from those things in this reading. Hopefully from spirit and through channeling, I'm gonna be able to help you break free from some other things. These may be things that you have already broken free from, but you may not have fully broken free from it. So it's like there's just one more. What's that? One more link. Just one more link to crack free from. This may be something which is completely out of, it's like in your blind spot and you might not even realize it's there. It might be a completely new thing for you, or etc. etc. So as always, we've got pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Feel free to pause the video. Feel free to pause the video. And we'll get stuck into pile number 1s. Okay, pile number 1s, what are you breaking free from? Shit, that almost looks like the hair or a flame. Pause on that, pile number 1s. Now, I'm not going to draw this all in detail. This is meant to imply that it's like a tree. Now, I don't know how I'm gonna make more sense to this without confusing people. Not sure if that even makes any sense to you. Yeah, what do you see? What do you feel? Maybe pause on that first, part 1s. This is meant to be figure, some form of, well, not some form of figure, a figure, male or female, doesn't matter, etc. Actually inside the tree. So this is the tree going off, and this person isn't outside of the tree. It's almost like they're growing inside the tree. But it's almost a little bit sci-fi or horror movie, really. Yeah. Gosh, is there even a few movies that I've seen that in? I think there is. It's like this person's almost being birthed within a tree. Don't know what that means to you, pile 1s, but that's kind of what this is representing. So you're looking inside the tree, and this person is like almost growing inside the tree, separate from the tree, but growing inside of it. So how are you breaking free? How are you finding freedom? This is completely channeled. So I'm with you in confusion here, pile number 1s. I feel like it's very clear, this metaphor. I can't quite put my finger on it yet, though, because we're talking about freedom here, and this person is essentially, I don't want to say trapped inside this tree because it's not giving me claustrophobic vibes. It's giving me like it's not even a baby in the womb, because this is a full grown person. It's like someone just being inside the tree and growing inside of it, which again, it doesn't really make any sense because trees aren't hollow, at least for the most part. And this tree is not dead. Um, so look, the analogy somewhat seems very clear here, because we've, like I said, we've got that, is it that juxtaposition of freedom, and this person is inside something. One thing that's coming to mind is that the freedom is met through kind of going upwards. This person is outstretched their hands. They're going upwards. Freedom is almost through breaking out and up. So pile number ones, there's maybe a freedom which is, I guess if you want to take it kind of literally, we're dealing with wood, we're dealing with nature. Like, it could be staring right in front of our face with this analogy that vibrating higher through being one with nature would make perfect sense. And I'm kind of getting the ding 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 coming off from Spirit now, so I think that's pretty much a reading. You probably got it in the first 5 seconds. And I got some smarty pantses over here on If You Pause, so you probably just looked at this and just figured it out straight away. But quite a simple reading, a beautiful one. I'd say as well, just part number one, be careful, right? So if there's one kind of departing message I could give to you, I'm also getting something quite beautiful here. I'm not going to draw it, but like I'm getting like rings. Ooh, like probably the rings of a tree. So I'm getting kind of rings to draw, like rings around this. Okay, I'm going to fuck it up and just draw it for you. Oh, it kind of works. Pile number ones for my smarty pantses out there. Your blind spot that I'm hearing, and I think you might be connected to this, but not fully. Or maybe you are, who am I to judge? But kind of, for some of you, you feel like you are tapped into nature. The blind spot for you is that you are at the moment in the vibration of being outside of the tree. So when you're seeing this image, you're seeing someone outside of the tree with their arms up, touching it. And Spirit is saying, be inside the tree. That's your blind spot, is be with the tree truly. Someone might argue, okay, when I'm hugging this tree or touching this tree, these are things you might not do, by the way, but let's just say hypothetically, I'm one with it, and kind of Spirit's just giving you the nudge saying, no, there's a higher vibration to that. There's a way that you can get more higher synced with nature, with this tree, than what you think you're doing. So it's almost like level one would be to hug the tree and to feel the tree. It's almost like if you can feel the tree's heartbeat or pulse, That would be level one. And then level two is being in the tree, and that is being of the pulse of the tree, in it, without actually being in it. Now, a lot of people who think that they're touching the tree and hugging the tree, they think they're doing that, but Spirit is saying, and this is new to me, Pal Ones, Spirit is saying that no, that's not it. There's another level, and it's almost like being in the womb of the tree. It's a different experience to treat. It's like, yeah, I think the womb is a really good analogy. Although I'm struggling to explain it, it's like when the baby is inside the womb of the mother, they're kind of one. They are one at that moment. There's separation there, but they're one. And when you're kind of touching the tree or hugging a tree, you're friends with that tree. Do you understand? I think that's the best way to explain this, and that's the higher vibration. And in order to be one with the tree, what we're talking about here, it takes a different level, and I think that's something that you're going to explore by yourself. And obviously when you do that, you're going to be able to do it with other things, which kind of makes sense. I'm kind of reflecting on that myself now, because I remember when I personally kind of went through this change, or this upgrade in my vibration, I completely interacted with like animals differently after that. Like animals kind of just saw me in a different way, like from insects to birds, and I felt them in a different way. So pile number one's good luck with that. It's almost like a little bit of homework for you, but yeah, good luck with it. I hope it helped. I hope you got something from this, and I'll see you in the next reading. As always, if you like the video, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Okay, pile number two's freedom. I've got the vibe. Spirit's not giving me the illustration yet. Okay. Oh, that really flowed. Ain't that a beautiful energy? Pile number two's. Again, this is I shouldn't say again because Pile ones didn't have this energy at all. But I'd done a reading maybe a couple of weeks ago from this, or I don't know, about a week ago, where the drawings were really simple but really captured a lot of energy, a lot of downloads, and this is one of those readings. So it's about freedom. Part two is I think you've got that freedom, or if you don't have it, you're about to. It's kind of giving me that feeling of like effortlessness as well. Clearly, dance, movement. You may be into like somatic healing. If you're not, I recommend you look into that. I think it might even called there might be something called somatic dance. Somatic dance. Yeah, there's just so much. I'm not sure if you can pause on this pile number twos and tap into that energy of the words that are coming through here. There's just so many just pouring off. If you're not necessarily resonating with that energy, it's probably not for you. But like, for example, if you look at this image and you can't reel off some words, I don't think that you're on this. The pile's maybe not for you. It's like the frequency isn't maybe matching up. For example, like if you're just in a really, 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 really bad mood, which we all go through, this maybe isn't the reading for you, or if it is, it's kind of you overcoming that bad mood and you're about to tap into. You should feel something though. That's what I'm saying. Maybe that's not the best example, because even if you're in a really bad mood at the moment and this drawing didn't kind of cheer you up and you didn't feel like you could be this person or you connect to that person, that energy, that's probably a sign it's not for you. But yeah, I think the mood was a bad example because I think people of varying moods could be watching this and relating to this image. So I'm not gonna pour off the long list of words that are coming through here. I might touch on a few of them, but I'm not gonna touch on the long list of words that are coming through here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna touch on the main point, which is so this is about freedom, and although this person somewhat looks like they're dancing or being in this moment alone, I almost feel like there's another person here. Like in the movement of this dance, I feel like there's another person here. And I come to realize that the other person is their soul. They're actually dancing with their own soul, which is, goddamn, that's beautiful. Make a nigga want to break a tear. Part two is you dancing with your own soul. Oh man, that is beautiful. God damn it. God damn it. Ain't that just a happy ending? Yeah, like, I don't even mean to say sound cheesy. I'm sorry if it does sound cheesy or corny, but that's what this reading is about. Dancing with your own soul, that's your freedom. That's the freedom that you're breaking out of. Spirit's kind of given me here, like, to make more sense of this, like, what does that mean, dancing with your own soul? I think what this reading is summarizing, will take away whatever dancing with your own soul means to you. But kind of what Spirit was just giving me there was over time, you've befriended yourself. You've befriended your soul. Like, can I get an amen on this? This is a serious reading. This is a serious reading. If I was a chick, I'd be crying my eyes out if I was listening to this reading because it's that beautiful. At least how it's coming through from spirit. It's like you've become your own best friend. It's like all those cheesy sayings or those cheesy quotes that you've ever heard in your life kind of are making sense right now. Or it's not even that they're making sense, it's that um, you've understood the true meaning of them, you know? And all I can say, part number two, is that you, yeah, like I think you've become your own best friend in many ways, but not even that. Like what this is not is befriending your inner child. That is not this reading actually. This is befriending your soul and who you are completely. I know there's a trend at the moment for inner child healing and wounding and all of this stuff. And don't get me wrong, I think that stuff is very important. But this is not about that. This is about you actually encompassing yourself as a whole, as a soul. Like getting to know that inner soul. Do you understand? Your inner soul is more than just your inner child. It's like you've come to accept and appreciate just who you are. This would be the equivalent of like, you know, there came a point in my life as well. Maybe I should have danced more like this at that moment, and I maybe took it for granted. But there came a moment in my life where I realized, damn, I'm a thorough guy. I'm actually a kind hearted, thorough guy. I'm just about it. And I just heard a lot of people talk in my life like they were that guy too, and they're not. And there came a moment, or probably a series of moments in my life, where I realized I'm actually about it. And I'm not even going to express to you part number two is where I realized this. But to be honest, it was, you know, it was actually during times of my hardship where I was so beaten down and I realized, shit, I am that guy. This is the part where other people buckle and crumble and show their true colors. And yeah, when I was nailed on that cross in my own way, I realized I had my dance. And I feel like, so, you know, some of my guys out there might relate to what I'm saying. And I guess the feminine energy is the same, you know? Like, I wish upon, like, the feminine energy doesn't have to go through some of that dark shit that some of us masculines have to go through. Um, but it's the same kind of, you know, in your own way, you've come to realize, for the feminines watching it, I don't know how to express it to you without being in my, like, in my Aries rawness, but like there's just shit that you've maybe been through and you realize that you that I don't know if I should say you that bitch, but you that girl, you that you I don't insert you that divine feminine, you that, and you only realize that through your hardship or through your experience. And you know, like, let's not make this all about kind of that raw passion here about experience and what we've been through, because like on the flip side of this, even in these moments that I'm talking about for me personally, there was a lot of introversion. There was a lot of, I think introversion is the right word. Like me being introverted, being somewhat like passive too, you know. So being a warrior to go out, but that being in my own passiveness, being loving that too. being in that energy of connecting with God, connecting with universe, spirit, ancestors, spirit guides, being in the nothingness is also the means for this celebration. So I don't want to tarnish this reading with just saying, I don't want it to be too much of that, saying you dancing because you did all of that. Like clearly there's this gentleness. I'm not sure if the word is passiveness, because some people shy away from that word. But I don't know. I think there's clearly a positive to being passive sometimes too, right? To just curling up in the womb of Mother Gaia, like there's a depth to that surrender, and that is the celebration too, the humbling of that, the knowing yourself, the emptying of who you are before, the emptying of your traumas, the emptying of your pains, and coming into that new self. I'm almost getting the words here of like ridding of disease too, like ridding yourself of disease. Now, I don't want to put any dirty images into your head, because disease, and people tend to think negatively, but it's like, I'm talking here disease of everything, like the disease of your emotions, the disease of your mindset. I'm not just talking here of the physical diseases or physical ailments, if that's the word. I think that might mean the opposite word. See, I'm going way too off here. But the physical, I think this symptoms is maybe the word I was looking for. I'm not talking about those physical symptoms only. I'm talking about disease of the spirit too. Freeing yourself, like god damn. Freeing yourself. Let that sit, pile number twos. Freeing yourself from diseases of the spirit is bringing you into this freedom, this energy. Do you understand? Like, man, this is a heavy hitter of a reading. I'm hoping that it strikes some of you out there, because it is a beautiful one. And yeah, like, sometimes when they say a picture can speak 1,000 words, I really do believe that this is one of those readings. There's probably some kind of code which I'm missing in the dotted lines here too. For me, that's just really capturing like movement. Connectivity. It's actually quite funny that I've noticed how this leg movement is actually connected to that leg movement. Like the legs are in sync. The legs are working together. So yeah, just before I leave you, pile number twos, I do recommend you pause the video. There's a whole load of other descriptive words that are coming, like pouring. I said before, I believe, pouring off this image. I recommend that you sit on that. Obviously, listen to what I've said, but tap into your own energy. What do you feel? Like, even the head of this character is kind of slightly looking up. It's like they're connected to, like, I know God isn't necessarily above in the clouds, but there's almost just in this, there's a seeing the sun rising above the clouds, coming out, peeping out of the clouds, you know? It's giving me that vibe. This person's looking up as there's, it's reminding me of the I can see clearly now that the rain is gone kind of song, that kind of vibe. So yeah, part number 2 is I hope that you connected to this reading. Hope you got something from it. Sending you positive vibes. Bless up to you. If you enjoyed the reading, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com. You're crazy if you haven't checked out the If You Pause website yet. Checked out my paid videos on there. But for now, yeah, I'll leave you to enjoy the dance, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, pile 3s. You're going to have a tough time matching up with pile 2s, I'm not going to lie. I shouldn't say that, but pile 2s was whoa. Whoa. Freedom. Well, I tell you this. I was kind of teasing you at the start of this reading, pile 3s. I do apologise putting piles against each other. Such a villain sometimes. It's the Aries in me. I'd say on power levels, power, and define that however you like, as in, well, I'll help you. Like being on the channel side of this reading, like the hit, and possibly I'm doing that wrong with the hands, but the whoosh, to make it a bit more gentle. That hit is just as impactful as pile number 2 is, but for a completely different reason. So bear with me, pile number 3s. Your freedom. Okay, so hopefully you've understood this image, at least from an illustration perspective. I've done it kind of a bit abstractly, so I'm not sure if you're even going to understand it, pile threes. I realise everyone out there is not really kind of artistic or like creatively minded, but what we've got here is a male figure with their head down. This is the head down. This is an arm. This is the other arm and the leg, and they're kneeling. Now, there was another reading that I did. I believe I called it Drained. So you might want to just look at the catalogue of videos I've got and search Drained. That reading might relate to you. Now that I come to think of it, that reading, the little that I'm remembering of it is really aligning to this energy. So God is good, Spirit is amazing, and the universe is never wrong. I believe that reading was to do with like being drained, like energy vampires and stuff like that, and this reading is about freedom. So they've just married together in this beautiful way. That's probably what you're getting freedom from. Now, why this reading is so beautiful in many ways is that this character has just become free. In the other piles, we're maybe seeing something a little bit different happening here. I don't want to talk about the other piles actually, but they're expressing maybe different timelines of the freedom. And this here is, like there's so many things I could add to it, but I'm going to leave it, is expressing it's like the shackles have just become free, god damn it. He's just become free, and it doesn't matter if you're male or female watching this. This is the feeling of, and damn, I can relate to this in many ways myself. This is when you've just become free and you don't even have the damn energy to celebrate. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's that moment in the movies where the man, like God bless his soul, like the Nelson Mandela being set free from prison. It's like, how do you expect him to celebrate after that experience? He may have smiled later on down the line, but it's that feeling. And like I said, try not separate yourself here. If you're a feminine watching, you may relate to this. Just insert, put the feminine figure here and some beautiful hair, which I'm sure you got. But yeah, back to the point, I think what we're seeing here, or not what I think, is what we are seeing here is literally the moment, of that key or that last link. It's almost like this character is standing for the first time in a long time too. Yeah, it's just at least for me, reading this, a shitload of emotion. I don't mean to swear, excuse my French, but I don't know if, again, I'm not sure if you're picking up on that energy Pal Freeze, but it's like just goddamn. It reminds me a little bit of that the Gladiator movie too. I can't even remember um how that movie ends, starts, or really what it was fully about. But I just remember, I don't want to be a spoiler alert, but I guess I think he somewhat dies with honor in that movie, but he's cheated. Do you know what I mean? He's cheated in that movie, and unlike the character in that movie, you are here fighting another day. This is not your death, but there is a definite sense of fragility here for what you've been through. Pal Freeze, you want to be tapping into that rest energy. I'm going to give you a quick story, Pal Freeze. I recently went to the doctor just for a checkup. And when I was getting checked out, well, to be honest, before I was getting checked out, I went to see this doctor, and the first thing I looked or saw about this doctor was she looked exhausted. Her eyes were red. Really nice person, by the way. Really clicked with this doctor. I was like, damn, we need more doctors like you. I'm back in like London at the moment while I'm recording this, but the doctor was like from East London. I was like, oh man, I remember saying to her, you sound like home. And it was really nice because even back home, I don't really hear doctors really sounding very, like common, just like normal people. I guess, when you're educated and stuff, you maybe put on this front even when you don't speak like that. And she just sounded like someone who I could have gone to school with. She said that she was from like Shoreditch way. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Not really where I'm from, but that makes sense. And the point of this story, apart from connecting with this doctor, is that she looked exhausted when I went into the GP room or whatever it's called. She looked exhausted. She had a great energy, but she was fucking exhausted, eyes red, and there came into my a moment came into my mind where I was like, I'm not sure if this person's even fit to be diagnosing me with anything because she's exhausted. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm not going to necessarily downplay her competence, is probably the word. She knows more than me on at least qualified medicine, if that's the word. Yeah, qualified, I guess. I was going to say legalized medicine, but it sounds like I'm talking about illegal drugs, which I'm not. But, as a qualified professional, she knows way, way, way more than me. And I liked her energy, I liked her character, so I put my trust in what she was saying. But back to the main point, which I keep on scattering over. She was exhausted, and it did make me doubt her competence for a second before I tap back into myself. And does this feel right? Is intuitively, is this a good idea? And the answer was yes. And the point I'm making here is, after I left that GP, I was like, she was a reflection of me at a certain point in my life. And I felt for her after I left, because what I realized is that I'm not coming from a judgmental place here. I can only speak on myself, and she might be in a completely different situation. But how I was able to gain wisdom from that interaction was that when I was in that moment where I was the architect with red eyes and just about competent to do what I'm meant to do from exhausting myself and overworking, it was a time in my life where I had people around me who were claiming or saying that they loved me, and they didn't even have the courage or love, let's just say, keep it simple, to say, look, Zed, you need to chill. And that's what I took away from that moment, is that sometimes when someone's in that situation, it's because they don't have the right people around them. Because we can come up with a shitload of excuses of, why someone looks like shit. But we can, for example, for example, you've got to take some accountability yourself, right? You've got to say, well, you've got to be able to look after yourself. That's a valid point. But there comes moments in life where you're blind spotted. You need help. You need people to point out your blind spots and help you. God damn it! It's like there's only so much fucking accountability you can take sometimes. Like, that's why you have friends. That's why you have family. To obviously build great relationships with these people, but obviously they're meant to be part of your kind of foundations, friends and family, in a healthy way. Obviously I don't need to say you gotta have your own backbone in life, but like your friends and your family, they should be there when the shit hits the fan. That's the whole point, because everyone else is going to be not there. And I feel like this is maybe something that you've come to realize, Palfreys. We've got a nice little bit of light coming in at the moment. I'm not sure how long it's been there, but this is something that this is the summary, if you like, of this reading. That's what you're coming into. Is you're probably listening to this and really relating to what I'm saying. Is that there's been breaking points that you've been in, and you've looked around and you realize that, yeah, I take my own accountability, but a big chunk of why that fall was the way it was because you might have been depending on people who weren't about it. And sometimes that's a tough pill to swallow. Sometimes that is room for improvement too, right? Sometimes these relationships which have let us down are stepping stones for us to make better bonds with those people. Sometimes it's an opportunity to cut certain people out. But the point here is the same. Is that when you find yourself in a situation like that, how I was wrongfully, because we should never judge, but I do it, and so does everyone, judging this doctor instead of going, shit, you need some sleep. Understanding that beyond her own accountability, she might have had bills to pay, she might have been in debt, she might have been in stress, she might have needed that overtime. On top of that, the answer is quite simple, that she probably wasn't receiving some form of support that she needed right then. I'm laughing about it. I'm only laughing about it, guys, because I've been through it, so I understand it. Like that was for me. That was for me a eureka moment in my life, and it wasn't too long ago. I might add, that was a eureka moment. Like in many ways, and again, you might relate to this power freeze, or you may not. Sometimes there is taking too much self accountability. Like sometimes there is. Sometimes it's like you need some better support out there. You need the Avengers for any of my geeks out there, superhero geeks. You need your Avengers. You know, you can't just be like um. You need your Avengers or your Justice League. You can't be like Superman in this bitch or Wonder Woman in this bitch and expecting the average civilian to be acting like Batman. They're different breeds. They're not gonna have your back like Batman. Even if they keep telling you that they're Batman. When they put on the mask they get scared. you need to you need to cut them bitches out. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't have like Wonder Woman can't be saying, "Hey, come over to this location, Superman," and then Superman calling you up saying, "Bitch, I can't fly." What do you mean? And then Wonder Woman will be like, "I thought you said you Superman," and the dude'd be like, "Well, you know, uh, well, you need to give them the dial tone. Give them the dial tone." So part freeze. Just to end the reading here. Hopefully, you're coming into a sense of, as you raise your head here, you might have, you might look up and see your team. Bit bloody in the mouth, a few stab wounds. But as this character raises their head, like they may just be getting recruited into the Avengers. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that's a beautiful way to end this reading. I hope it resonated. If it did, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I love your comments. I love to hear how these readings resonated with you guys. I do try and comment back, especially as this channel is still so small. I try and make some time for that. Not so much anymore on my Instagram, but I do try and connect with you guys. So yeah, check out the If You Pause website as well if you haven't already. Power freeze, ifyoupause.com, very easy to remember. Check out the paid videos I've got on there. And yeah, Power freeze, aka superhero. I'll see you in the next reading. Take care.